looking at a live view of Relativity as it awaits its first flight in just under 10 minutes. On today's flight, we are launching a variety of CubeSats to low Earth orbit, and we are also launching, as our main payload, the F3ra-1 space probe to translunar injection. The CubeSats are sitting on top of the payload adapter placed on top of the Star 48 kick stage, which will boost the payload with more precision to its desired orbit. Today, we have a 6-hour launch window, which means we have plenty of time to work with to troubleshoot and launch successfully today. Currently, we're targeting the first opportunity in today's 6 hours launch window. Today's 6-hour launch window. If we don't launch today, we have a backup opportunity on Tuesday. But everything is looking good for today's flight. As we get into the countdown, we'll be hearing many callouts from our launch director in our mission control center. We'll hear all those callouts throughout the countdown to hopefully get to the point at T0 that we have a successful liftoff. Today we are launching from Space Launch Complex 41 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. This pad will also be used for crewed flights that are scheduled for next year. Currently, you're looking at a live view of Relativity as it currently awaits a T0 time in just under 10 minutes. You're currently seeing
Stage 1 and 2 fuel continuous manual.
There you go. You're starting to hear some of those callouts there from mission control. Also, want to mention the venting right there. That's totally normal. That's the tanking procedure, and it's the interaction between both the rocket.
Stage 1 recovery area weather check. Where it looks good.
That's basically the interaction, but that's totally okay, and that's a actually good sign because the first stage and second stages are being filled up with liquid methane and liquid oxygen, which will start. We're getting close to 7 minutes now.
7 minutes mark.
We want to remind you all that we're not expecting much footage of the recovery of the first stage on today's launch attempt. Also, we're going to have a hold, so we can conduct the final no-go poll for no-go poll for liftoff at T-minus 4 minutes. Everything is currently looking good as we proceed to T-minus 6 minutes and counting. And there you go, T-minus 6 minutes. A few weeks ago, we concluded a non-full duration static fire test of the first stage of Relativity, which is the rocket that you're currently seeing on screen. Since that was a success, we are now proceeding to today's launch attempt. This is going to be the penultimate launch of 2023 for Daxt, as the next launch will be the Titan M2B mission, which is scheduled to launch on the last week of this year, 2023. The rocket that you're currently seeing on screen, Relativity, is a two-stage liquid fuel-powered rocket, powered by methane and oxygen, commonly known as methalox. It consists of 9 engines on the first stage, 3 of them which are capable of being gimbaled, which helps steer the rocket into its destination orbit. First stage job is to ascend the second stage and payload out of the atmosphere. After that, we'll have a callout called MECO, or Main Engine Cutoff, where the first stage will shut down the engine and the second stage will start its 2 vacuum-optimized engines, which will then carry the payload into its destination orbit. The second stage consists, as I said, 2 engines, which help to get the rocket into orbit. As you can see, we are under T-minus 5 minutes away from liftoff, and we should get that go-no-go poll right here at T-minus 4.
2, 1. Hold.
We're now going to get the go-no-go poll for liftoff.
It's all day. Reflect final go poll for today's flight. Range. Go. Propel. Go. Propulsion. This is Ozzy. We are go for launch. Preparing for proceeding with the count in 4 minutes, 30 seconds.
And as you just heard, we are go for today's launch attempt. As you can see, we're going to resume the countdown right now. As you can see, we are going back to T-minus 10 minutes as we want to get the final checkouts completed to make sure everything is go for launch, and we have the successful first flight of Relativity. If you're just joining us, you are witnessing the countdown as we launch the first, as Relativity gets its first flight under its belt. Looking at a live view from Space Launch Complex 41 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, this pad will also be used for the crew flights later next year. Today, for those that are just joining us, we have a 6-hour launch window, which means we have plenty of time to troubleshoot and launch today. Currently, we're targeting the first opportunity in today's launch window. If we don't launch today, we have a backup opportunity date Tuesday. But we are not expecting to launch there because we have plenty of time today. As I said, 6 hours is a lot to play with. So we are currently targeting a go, and as you just saw from the poll as well, the go-no-go poll for launch, we are a go for the first opportunity in today's launch window. But if we do call a abort, we should get a second opportunity today. On today's flight, we are launching a variety of CubeSats to low Earth orbit, and we are also launching as our main payload the F3ra-1 space probe to translunar injection. The CubeSats are sitting on top of the payload adapter, placed on top of the Star 48 kick stage, which will boost the payload with more precision to its desired orbit. Also want to remind you, if you're just joining us, that today we're not expecting much footage from the recovery of the first stage on today's flight attempt. But we are planning on recovering the first stage with some parachutes, and hopefully we can prove that it works if everything goes well. As we are currently 12 minutes away from liftoff, everything is looking good for today's flight attempt. Again, want to remind you all that this is not a static fire, this is not a suborbital test flight, this is a orbital flight. So everything is looking good for today's orbital launch attempt. This is the first orbital launch attempt of Relativity, and this will mark the first DAX successful liftoff of its own rocket. Everything is looking good as we get closer and closer to that T-minus 10 minute mark for liftoff. You can see the skies looking
20
very
seconds.
good.
Stage 1 recovery area looks good.
And just hearing out callouts as well from mission control from our launch director. For those that are new to DAX, DAX stands for the Dark Star Aerospace Exploration Technologies. We were found and created in the 1st of October 2022. We launched some small CubeSats, satellites, and of course rockets, which is the main priority of today's launch. Our goal is to create space available for everyone, as every single company is getting closer and closer to. If you want to make sure to join our Discord server, there will be a link in the stream's description. And also make sure to subscribe to keep up to date with all of the updates coming soon, as we get closer to that T-minus 10 minute mark, right about in 5 seconds.
Minutes more.
There you go, that's the final 10. Those are the final 10 minutes that we're going to be seeing here. Everything is go for flight. For those that don't know me, my name is Kion. I'm a space YouTuber as well as a rocket nerd, and I'm so happy to be here on this live webcast here to commentate on today's live stream. I'll jump quickly here to the chat to take a look if there's any questions. So make sure to post your questions if you have any questions. So make sure to leave them in chat and tag us if you can at DAX so we can see your posts as soon as we can. This is the first launch of Relativity in just under 10 minutes. This is a 2-stage liquid fuel rocket powered by methane and oxygen, also commonly known as methyl oxide. It consists of 9 engines on the first stage, 3 of them in the middle, which are capable of gimbaling, or also known as steering, the rocket. The first stage job is to get the second stage and the payload out of the atmosphere, which on that point will have a commonly known word in rocketry called MECO, or main engine cutoff. As the name suggests, the first stage will cut out its engines, followed by state separation, and then we'll have the second engine startup 1, which will start the engines on the second stage, which we have 2 of them, and then the second stage will carry the payloads into the majority of the orbit until we have the kick stage, which is the Star 48, which on top of that consists
Stage 1 recovery area weather check. Weather looks good.
Weather is looking awesome for today's flight, as you can see from our mission control center. So as said, we have the Star 48 stage, and on top of that we have the payload adapter, where we have all of the CubeSats sitting, including the F3ra-1 space probe on top of the stack. As we get into the countdown, everything is looking good on today's launch attempt, so let's go! As you can see, T-minus 7 minutes, and we are go for launch. As you can see, the weather is looking perfect for today's launch attempt. And you can see the venting on the tower there, that's normal. Also on the rocket, that's completely normal. That's
Stage
also
1 and 2 full load complete.
And that's also for the fuel load. As you just heard, we finished pumping fuel to the first stage, I believe. everything is looking good for today's launch attempt. Definitely a very exciting moment in the team here at Daxt. Throughout the countdown, we have listened to callouts from mission control. And
Final
as you
weather
can see,
check for launch pad and recovery area. Weather looks good.
And there you go, that final check for weather. Everything is looking so good. I can't believe, hopefully we can finally launch today's payload. We have Bister9 here, a commentator also on my live streams on my YouTube channel. Say, what's up, Kion? Hello, Bister9. So good to have you here. We have Baron as well, which is today's customer for F3ra-1. So thank you so much for trusting Daxt for launching on this maiden flight, which is definitely risky, but we hopefully we get a first successful test flight of Relativity. We have 4 people watching this stream, 2 likes on the stream. Thank you so much. That really helps us grow, fuels the algorithm, as YouTubers say. I'm not going to get very nerdy with that, as we are under 5 minutes to launch. At T-1 minute, I will kindly stop talking so we can hear the roar and the power of Relativity as it leaps off the pad at pad 41 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Everything is looking good for today's launch attempt. See the tower vent stop, that's at T-4 minutes. So that's a good indication of propellant loading complete. T-4 minutes and 10 seconds. Everything is looking good for today's launch attempt.
4 minutes mark. LDs go for
There
launch.
you go.
No additional holds needed.
And there you go. You just heard we are a go for launch. So let's go. This is the first test flight of Relativity, and hopefully a successful one. Again, quickly recapping what's going to happen before we get into the final countdown. We'll see liftoff of Relativity from Launch Complex 41 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. After that, we'll be seeing max Q, also known as maximum aerodynamic pressure. This is the maximum stress on the rocket when the rocket experiences through its flight. After that, we also, in combination, should have Mach 1, the speed of sound. And after that, we'll have those callouts, as I said, MECO or main engine cut. And there you go, 3 minutes into liftoff. Very exciting right here. We can't wait to finally launch. Getting so close. Again, we'll have MECO main engine cutoff, followed by state separation in that first second engine startup number 1. We'll then have fairing separation, which will expose the satellites to the vacuum of space. And again, those second stage engines are vacuum optimized engines, so they are more efficient in the vacuum of space. The first stage job is to propel the second stage in the payload to outside of the atmosphere.
Stage 1 engine complete.
There you go. We're getting close. And T-2 minutes.
2 minutes mark.
And quickly, just saying that, and the second stage job is to get the payload into its destination orbit. When then the kick stage, the start 48, kick stage will propel the final bit into a preciser orbit, and then release the payloads. So as we get to 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'm gonna quietly stop talking and let's hear
Stage 1
Relativity
pressure
launches.
reached flight level.
There you go. I'm not gonna stop talking. I'm not gonna stop talking, and let's listen to Relativity as it leaps off the pad and on its way for its first maiden test flight.
One minute, Relativity startup. Ladies, go for the launch. Twenty seconds. 15, go for the normal count. And it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And liftoff. Go Relativity, go for a 1.
We have liftoff of the first test flight of Relativity. As you can see there, we're currently seeing stage 2 telemetry. That should be a small issue, but
Power and telemetry nominal.
everything is looking good. We're currently seeing stage 2 telemetry, but that should be a quick fix as we get into max Q. Max Q is the maximum aerodynamic pressure, which is a significant point in flight that will improve Relativity's structure integrity throughout the first stage burn. After that, we should be seeing MECO, as the first stage job is to get the payload in the second stage. Get the payload and the second stage outside of the atmosphere. You just heard that call out for
max Q, maximum dynamic pressure.
And there you go, we have maximum aerodynamic pressure. That's a great sign to prove that Relativity's structural
stage 2 engine chill
design is capable. Have stage 2 engine chill, that's phenomenal, that's a good sign. Coming up next will be those events. As I said, we'll have MECO, as you can see, have a preview there of the MECO camera. And we'll have MECO remain cut off.
Vehicles continue to perform nominal.
Everything is looking good. Next up will be MECO or main engine cutoff. That's when we shut down those 9 engines on the first stage, and then we'll be seeing the stage separation from stage 1 to stage 2. As you can see, the beautiful plume expansion right there as we get into the thicker parts of the Earth's atmosphere. After that, we'll be seeing MECO or main engine cutoff. You can see that second stage camera right there. The other camera that you saw, the interstage camera, that's placed on the inner stage, which is that lined structure right there that you can see.
All systems nominal.
everything is looking good. See those beautiful clouds there on the bottom to get to the sphere right there. So again, next callout will be Miko. That's a fairing. The cameras on today's flight are incredible, so we can't wait to see amazing views. Again, stick us with here as we get through the first stage flight. After this, we'll have Miko or main engine cut off. First stage will shut down. We'll have main engine cut off, and then stage 2 separation. And we hopefully will get the second stage engine to light. So again, today we're targeting a landing as well of the first stage, but it's not a propulsive landing. It's using parachutes. Also has grid fins, just like the SpaceX Falcon 9, to help it steer its way down to the drop zone. As you can see right there, there's a little bit of a hint of space right there. Looking good so far. We should see Miko coming up. Just again, main engine cut off. Passing now through the thickest parts of the atmosphere. See those clouds right there on the bottom, casting shadow on the ocean. So cool to see. Right there, there is space. Again, next callout will be Miko or main engine cutoff. We'll separate the first and second stages, and that's a great sign to prove that's a significant step for the second stage engine burn. Again, the first stage job is to just get
Miko.
Oh, we have Miko. Stage separation.
Second engine start.
And oh. As you just saw, we have
bearing
Miko,
descent.
and there you go.
Anomaly.
Oh, we just had a anomaly. Oh. You're just joining us. We had a successful first stage burn. We still don't know about what happened to the second stage, and looks like the guidance and control has proceeded to a third test. Again, those last 30 seconds were too much for my little brain to think about what happened, but we definitely got a successful first stage burn, and that at least proves that Relativity can get up to space. Probably just had a off nominal bearing timeout separation, which maybe caused. By the way, that spin was nominal. This is the star 48 kick stage. Also, a good thing of having a third stage is that if the second stage malfunctions, which is what happened, the third stage can take flight. Hopefully that is a success on the part of what happens in today's flight. Everyone, this truly weirdly reminds me of watching Astro launches. This is great seeing new launchers take place. And make sure to follow us. Also join the Discord, Dax Spaces Discord, where you can get updates and stuff like that. Oh. For those that are just joining, we had a successful first stage burn. Although looks like the fairing had some issues with separation, causing them to crash into the second stage. So we just had an official call again. Joined the Discord. So looks like I was right. So that was the cause of the failure. Now, please do keep in mind that this is a test flight. There was a lot of things that could go wrong, but of course, there's always the beautiful cameras on the second stage, and there's always the chance that this means that we learn a lot from the data that we get from this launch to improve the next launch. Also, a very exciting update is that DAX is also partnering with another virtual space company called KSP SpaceX, so that will be very exciting to launch those next year. So that's it for today's test flight. I hope you all enjoyed today's live coverage. If you do, give us that help and like and subscribe and that stuff. But as always, guys, until the next flight, have a happy Christmas and see you all next time.